let's dive into the American League, state of the American League. Guys, right now it's 3 teams on top right now. Even though it feels like the world's falling, Cleveland Guardians percentage points are ahead of the Baltimore Orioles, but the Yankees and Orioles are deadlocked atop the division right now as we currently sit at 67 and 46 identical records between the Orioles and the Yankees. Cleveland has a 4.5 game lead on the Twinkies, 5 up on Kansas City, who is surging. And then in the West, the Mariners hold a 1 game lead on the Houston Astros. So, guys, I think it's a good reminder as we talk about baseball here, and we'll answer some questions, is the Orioles are right where they need to be, given everything that's happened, right? Every team has gone through a slump. But when you're looking at this, it's still pretty wide open, right? I could argue, if we saw it from the Guardians, this is a scrappy team. They could make a run in the postseason. They have the best bullpen out of any team. Their starting pitching's okay. Yankees, which Yankee team are you going to get? Is Jazz going to be that spark plug for them that's going to continue their offensive, powers, and Judge is going to continue to never get out? By the way, wasn't he walked 3 times intentionally?
Intentionally, yeah.
And with the bases empty.
It was what?
2 outs.
No, the first one was there were no out. Was it no outs or in the second inning? Because it's the first time a player had been intentionally walked in like 60 years before like the 3rd inning with no one on, and I think it was less than 2 outs. So
yeah, well, I think the at bat before he went deep, he went big ball.
Yeah,
which
he
makes
does
sense.
A lot.
So, and Garrett Cole for them is a big part of what they need him to be. Luis Heel as well. But again, they have their issues, and talk about with closer situations. Clay Holmes, he's had some bad luck, but he's also not been able to close out games. It's interesting. The Orioles and Yankees have their own set of issues, but they still are 2 of the best teams in baseball. I'll tell you what, guys, I don't like Houston just sitting there. And Houston's poised to kind of make a move. Seattle's offense is trying to pick up. They have the best starting pitching staff in the American League. I think that's safe to say. But then don't sleep on other wild card teams at the moment, being the Kansas City Royals, who were big, big movers at the deadline. And just like the Orioles, they made a lot of moves, and they're in a prime position right now. As we talk about this, they are sitting at 63 and 50. Bobby Witt Jr. is maybe an MVP candidate. He is right up there with Aaron Judge. He surpassed Gunnar Henderson. And my Uncle Bill and I were talking about it. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr., I don't think people realize how good he is right now, how electrifying. You're talking about the start. We were talking about Colton Cowser earlier for the Orioles having a fantastic start to the second half. Do we understand that Bobby Witt's sitting around 350?
I really took away from what your Uncle Bill said about him. He said, I don't like to use the term 5-tool player loosely. He's like, Bobby Witt Jr. is a true 5-tool player. What he's able to do in the field, at the plate, on the base paths, he really has all the intangibles to be an MVP down the line. I don't know if it's going to be this season because Aaron Judge, you look at the stats, statistically what he's doing is incredible. But Bobby Witt Jr. has a really good chance to give him a run for his money when it's all said and done.
Right now, by the way, because wins above replacement is everyone's favorite thing nowadays. But Aaron Judge has an 8 WAR, which is by far the best in baseball. The closest one I think is Gunnar at like 6.7. But Aaron Judge is a minus 0.5 differential. So he's right around 7.6. Bobby Witt is sitting at 7.2. So the gap has been closed. Bobby Witt almost has 1.5 in defensive WAR, just to give you guys context on that. And then on top of it, I don't want to see this. I wanted to do something else real quickly. I was trying to pull up Bobby Witt Jr.'s stats. That's what I wanted to pull up. Because right now he's hitting 340.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, 344. 20 jacks, 79 ribbies. He's got 31 doubles, 10 triples, 94 runs scored, and he's got 25 bags. Now, Aaron Judge, on the other hand, well, look, there's no secret what he's done. He just hits homer after homer. He's got 41 jacks. He's hitting 322, 103 RBIs. Highest OPS in baseball, over 1,100, pushing towards 1,200. And he has scored 87 runs, but 5 stolen bases. He's not built for speed. He's built for comfort, built for power. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, fellas. Rock, what you got?
Rip, I want to take it a step even further than that. You're just talking about their stats on the season. How about the last 15 games? We're talking about what these guys have done recently. Bobby Witt Jr. is hitting 443 with 3 home runs and 14 RBIs. Aaron Judge hitting 423 with 7 home runs and 18 RBIs. I mean, even in the last month, you're looking at their stats and what they're putting up. And no, we're not box score watching. It's just simply incredible what both these guys are doing. You look at the numbers and you're blown away.
Yeah, and especially the position he's playing, shortstop. And that's what Bill and I were talking about. Another guy that's not going to get a lot of talk right now is Jose Ramirez, which actually for a fun exercise, because Zach or Kevin, you guys like to be the stat guys. If you go back and look at Jose Ramirez's last 7 years, RBIs wise and numbers, he's going to rival a lot of top players. Mm-hmm. But he's not going to be an MVP. He's just consistent each and every year he plays. He goes out there, he plays. But for the Yankees, a big reason where they are is that they have Aaron Judge and then Juan Soto. Those right there. Aaron Judge, number 1 hitter in baseball. You could say Juan's 3, 4. But he's the only one behind maybe Bobby Witt Jr. as far as what they're doing. So it's been electric to see. And I think it's going to be a great MVP race. I'm glad Gunnar got going, but honestly, realistically, that ship to me feels like it's sailing for Gunnar to win MVP this year. He could make a run for it.
And that's okay.
No doubt about it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He's going to win one in his future. I firmly believe that.
He still can hit 40 jacks. And talk about a guy that might hit 40 jacks. Where am I going with this? Who's an Oriole, Zach?
Tony
Taters, man. Holy shirts and pants, Kevin. He must have seen all the fish that Kevin's had. And that just was motivation for the guy to just go, I don't know where the correlation is.
I don't either. I don't either.
But Tony Taters, talk about a guy that's just once again is leading the Baltimore Orioles in statistical categories that matter, right? 32 jacks. He's got 75 ribbies. Once again, it's looking like he's going to clear 90 RBIs. And he's looking for his first 40-homer season. But once again, his stat line over the last 3 years, 33 jacks in 2022, 28 in 2023, 32 this year, 89 ribbies in 22, 95 last year, and 75 at this moment. So Tony is on a bender here. And when he gets going, guys, we know he's hard to stop.